I want to start with a little aside. So just know this has nothing to do with the Ascension, nothing to do with Mother's Day. But one of the reasons I'm a Catholic is that we claim our heritage historically all the way back to the person of Jesus of Nazareth. And because of that, I believe we have a wonderful tradition and a history that is behind all of this. So I want to start today with a little bit of Catholic trivia about the saints. May the 12th, 13th, and 14th, and today we're at the 13th, is the feast of three saints, Pancrats, Servats, and Bonifats. Now you probably never heard of them. You might have heard of Boniface. And according to tradition, they are known as the Icemen because on May 12th, 13th, and 14th, it's usually unreasonably chilly. Isn't that interesting? And according to German tradition, the farmers will never plant until after the Icemen. Little Catholic trivia. Now, the Ascension. And by the way, the coincidence this year that Ascension falls on Mother's Day. Because, well, first of all, in the Scriptures, just to give you another little footnote, remember in the Scriptures, the writers do not agree on when the Ascension happened. Some say it happened right on the day of the resurrection, what we would call Easter Sunday. And then some say it happened 40 days later. We can never harmonize that. Don't even attempt it. But it just screams at us whenever you have those inconsistencies that there's something more, something deeper. So the whole idea of ascension and mothering and parenting, of course, is the handing on of the message. Runners in a relay race, passing the baton from one to another. How often they practice that. And still occasionally, if you follow that sport, they will drop it. Or football, quarterback and the center. Handing on the football from the center to the quarterback. How much they practice that. And every once in a while you see a fumble. Parents, you want to hand on your values to your children. And I'm sure at some times all of you think, will my kids ever get it? I hear stories about parents that will start a business, very profitable, and they want to hand it on to their children. But the children don't have the wherewithal or the enthusiasm to pick up that business, that ball, and carry it on. Well, that's the Ascension. Can you imagine Jesus, his death and resurrection? You know the whole story. Everybody, all the disciples ran away. Jesus was on the cross alone. Don't you think he worried about, will they ever get it? Will my message fall flat because nobody else will pick it up? But eventually, again, you know the story. That's why we're here. But I bet a lot of us think about, what about the next generation? Will we be able to hand that on to others? Whether it's the message of Jesus or whether it is our own personal values that we would like to hand on to our children and grandchildren. That's why every Mother's Day, and most of you know this already, I go back to this book, Love You Forever by Robert Munch, because the book says, just keep doing it. A mother held her new baby and very slowly rocked him back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. And while she held him, she sang, I'll love you forever, I'll like you for always, as long as I'm living, my baby you'll be. The baby grew. He grew and he grew and he grew. He grew until he was 2 years old, and he ran all around the house. He pulled all the books off the shelves. He pulled the food out of the refrigerator, took his mother's watch and flushed it down the toilet. Sometimes his mother would say, "This kid is driving me crazy." But at nighttime, when that 2-year-old was quiet, she opened the door to his room, crawled across the floor, looked up over the side of the bed, and if he was really asleep, she picked him up and she rocked him back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. And while she rocked him, she sang, "I'll love you forever. I'll like you for always. As long as I'm living, my baby you'll be." The little boy grew. He grew and grew and he grew. He grew until he was 9 years old. He never wanted to come in for dinner, never wanted to take a bath. And when Grandma visited, he always used bad words. Sometimes his mother wanted to sell him to a zoo. But at nighttime, when he was asleep, the mother quietly opened the door to his room, crawled across the floor, looked up over the side of the bed, and if that 9-year-old boy was really asleep, she picked him up and she rocked him back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. And while she rocked him, she sang, "I'll love you forever. I'll like you for always. As long as I'm living, my baby you'll be." The boy grew. He grew and he grew and he grew. He grew until he was a teenager. He had strange friends. He wore strange clothes. He listened to strange music. Sometimes his mother felt like she was in a zoo. But at nighttime, when that teenager was asleep, the mother opened the door to his room, crawled across the floor, looked up over the side of the bed, and if he was really asleep, she picked up that big boy and rocked him back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. And while she rocked him, she sang, "I'll love you forever. I'll like you for always. As long as I'm living, my baby you'll be." Well, that teenager grew. He grew and he grew and he grew and grew until he was a grown-up man. He left home, bought a house across town. But sometimes on dark nights, Mother got into her car and drove across town. And if the lights in her son's house were out, she'd open his bedroom window, crawl across the floor, look up over the side of his bed, and if that great big man was really asleep, she picked him up and she rocked him back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. And while she rocked him, she sang, "I'll love you forever. I'll like you for always. As long as I'm living, my baby you'll be." Well, that mother got older and older. One day she called up her son and said, "You better come and see me because I'm getting very old and sick." So the son came to see her and he walked in the door. She tried to sing the song. She sang, "I'll love you forever. I'll like you for all." But she couldn't finish. She was too old and sick. So the son went to his mother. He picked her up and he rocked her back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. And while he rocked her, he sang her song, "I'll love you forever. I'll like you for always. As long as I'm living, Well, that night the son came home. He stood for a long time at the foot of the stairs. Then he went up the stairs into the room where his newborn baby daughter was asleep. And for the first time, he picked her up and he rocked her back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. And for the first time, he sang to her, "I'll love you forever. I'll like you for always, as long as I'm living, my baby